Hey there, hope you're having a great day, whatever time you're watching this. It's time for another installment of What's in Pirate's Crate, and the crate is overflowed this time. I'm recording this in March. It's probably going to take past March at this point with all that I'm going to be showing. But I want to go through and pick all the albums that either have a song or anyone who is on there that is pronouns she. I'm trying to make sure with the pronouns, but anything that is woman or female contributor or mainly singer. This is not going to include 7 inches because we'd be here all day. So this is mainly just 12 inches. I have one 12-inch single. Try not to do too many singles, but you'll see when we get there. But I'm going to see how long it takes me to get through this. Is going to be in multiple parts. So if you remember last time when I split it into two, that whole crate went from A to Z. The crate stops at L. So I'd wager out of the 800 or so, you can see the collection in the background, that about half of them are going to be part of this theme. So I'm going to talk a little genre as best I can. I have my viewfinder here, so if I'm not necessarily looking at the camera, that's why I'm making sure that everything looks good. But we're gonna get things kicked off here in just a moment. Join the pirate crew. Like, subscribe, and ring the ship's bell to be notified when the captain posts new content. So, in the interest of keeping things moving, I'm not going to spend too much time on each one, but I'll show one and maybe talk for a couple of seconds and turn about each one. So, yeah, starting off with the A's, Paula Abdul. This is the album Your Girl. Does still have the picture sleeve. There is a very big hit on this straight up 80s pop music to the max. Keeping things rolling, next is a pair of albums by an artist called Alex the Astronaut. So this is the debut. This is The Theory of Absolutely Nothing. It's on this really nice red wax. Some of these I've put the picture sleeves in, some of these I've not, so this would be a good chance to go about doing that. And next up is Alex the Astronaut's sequel album. This is How to Grow a Sunflower Underwater. If you could just read the labels there, pirate. Yeah, so indie-ish music, really, really nice. The next one is an album that I have talked about at length on my channel because this is one of the albums of the year. On the year this came out, I actually had 4 albums of the year. So I'm so glad that I have this. It's signed. This is Ali and AJ. Yes, it is that long of a title, so I'll say it very quickly. A touch of the beat, get you up on your feet, get you out and then into the sun. Still a very, very cool singer-songwriter folkish type of album. We are taking genre whiplash next for Baby Metal. I mean, what can be said about Baby Metal that hasn't been said? Just, this is the debut, but what can be said that hasn't been said about the kind of Japanese pop mixed with metal influenced, really, really good stuff. The next one is one that I've been wanting for a very long time. Finally, got access to. This is a pop album that I've loved for a very long time. Natasha Bedingfield's Unwritten. This is one that I have loved for a very, very long time. Pop album, classic of that era album, and it still holds up to this day, in my opinion. Keep things rolling with Sarah Bareilles, Little Voice. Now, this was a record store day piece. It's got a love song, but it's very, very different of a pop album. A lot of soul in this, like very soulful. The way she has things. So, if you listen to that, the little voice tells you, "Oh, it's just that poppy love song." No, there's a lot of depth to this album. It's really cool. Really nice picture sleeve as well. Keeping the train rolling here. The next two are by Pat Benatar. So we have this one, which is I learned how to read Crimes of Passion. Crimes of Passion on the Chrysalis label. And Seven the Hard Way, also on the Chrysalis label. I mean, what can be said about Pat Benatar that hasn't already been said? Just great, great, great musicianship, great music. Next up, Charlie Bliss, Eva Hendricks. Power pop to the max. This is really awesome. This is their album Guppy. The next one you're going to see coming. Like, if you know me, you know all about this band. You know I've talked about them at length. So get ready for a lot. Get ready for a lot of this band, Churches. So this is their debut album, The Bones of What You Believe. This is actually my very first Churches piece of wax that I got. This came out. This is the Under the Tide EP. This came out for Record Store Day. So this really nice golden color. Of course, after the debut album, they came out with this lovely gem, Every Open Eye. This is on white wax. What's really interesting about this is it's not on here, but Churches did a collaboration with Hayley Williams on Bury It during the Paramore cruise that year. So, still a gem. This is an underrated album by Churches. Not Every Open Eye. This is Love Is Dead. I love this. This is an underrated album from them. Still keeping that wonderful vibe that they have. They are synth band with really, really good deep lyrics. And last for this Churches batch is my favorite album from them. Yeah, Screen Violence. Love this album to death. It is all about the it's horror based. I'm not a big horror fan, but I love this album. There is just, it's a really good vibe with this album. Check it out if you haven't. Keeping things rolling, grabbing two at a time here. Next up, the second album of the Civil Wars. If you haven't heard the original, Barton Hollow is the big hit off the first one, but this is the follow-up with the wonderful vibes of this whole deal. Of course, Joy Williams is the singer on that, and she also did a collaboration with Paramore. It's not on what you're going to see later, but just something to point out. The next one is, I need the follow-up to this, but coming in hot. Literally coming in hot. Diamante. I mean, I've talked about Diamante before on this channel quite a bit. My background used to actually have her. I don't know if you can even see it. No, it's behind the chair back there. But I have a signed set list last time I saw her. Really, really good. Bringing back that classic, like, hard rock. Really, really good stuff. Kind of falling... Not really, haven't followed the last couple of albums, but I loved this initial debut by Billie Eilish. Of course, this is When We Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? It's a gem of an album if you haven't heard it. Next up is going to be Isley Currents. Just look at that. Very, like, indie-ish, if I remember correctly. Just very, very cool stuff there. And I love the cover of this. Isn't that cool? Going from one extreme to another. Epica. Design Your Universe. This is metal. This is symphonic metal to the max. Yes. The next up, I have a pair of albums from Evanescence. I mean, what could be said that hasn't been said already about this band? This is the original pressing, the reissue original. Back when they first pressed this. There's been more pressings now, but this is that original first run of when they actually put it out for the first time on vinyl. And then the next one is for Record Store Day. This is Lost Whispers. I know there's probably going to be a lot of cuts here, and I apologize for that. So the next three are really interesting. Fleetwood Mac, Bare Trees, Christine McVie. This actually has one of my this is actually arguably my favorite Fleetwood Mac album. Very underrated, and I love I love this. Spare Me a Little of Your Love is the main track from this, but I was looking at the back. I love the cover of this. This is my original pressing of it. Check this one out if you haven't. It's very underrated. Of course, next is going to be the debut of Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, Fleetwood Mac, self-titled. And then Fleetwood Mac Rumors, the album that has been pressed over and over and over, but this is my original of the era pressing. Next up, the Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beat. I mean, again, another band, what could be said about them that hasn't already been said? Just really, really cool stuff here. Yeah, of course, We Got the Beat is the main track from this. I want to make sure it was on there. You know, going through all of this has made me really appreciate what I have, and it's making me want to pick out a bunch of these to keep, because this is going to be multiple parts. So as you see here, this is just going through this first part here. This is going to be a multi-part series, and it won't rival the 2-year pickups series that I did, but it might be close to that. Keeping that rolling. Halestorm. This is The Strange Case of Halestorm. One of my favorite albums of all time. This was a grail for a very long time. I got it for the 75th anniversary pressing. This is clear. The next one is, I actually have 2 pressings of this, but one's away because I might be trading it with some people. But this is Into the Wildlife. I showed Into the Wild live, the last series. And then I have the FYE exclusive pressing of this album here, Vicious. The next one. Okay, so you know I've talked about Tonight Alive to death on this channel, but Jenna McDougall had gone on solo, and she decided to do her own solo work, and this is her first EP from that solo work. I'll show the 7-inch with it as well that I picked up. This is Wild Wild Heart. Jenna's music is just so wild and different. She's one of my favorite singers of all time. And of course, I have this. I was a day one backer, so I have her original first single when she was first started out. No One Will Ever Love You As Much As I Do. Very, very good song. Check out all her music. It is very, very awesome. I even one of her songs that came out, Wish I Had a Friend, actually works directly with her on creating a playlist about the influences of that song. So definitely go check that song out. It's absolutely worth it. We're going to keep things rolling with Heart Magazine on the Mushroom label. And then here's Heart, Babyless Strange, or Babyless Strange. And lastly, for this video, Human Leg Crash, but this is not just any normal pressing of that. This is an international pressing. So something just a little bit different. Thank you so much for watching this first installment. As you can see, that's only the first part, and there's going to be so much more. I didn't want to make this too long, because, you know, there's only so much time that you could watch a video before it gets a little too much, and I don't want this to be like a 3-hour video. So I'm cutting it here. So look out for part 2 coming out whenever it does. But until then, let me know if you've been listening to anything awesome down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as I say at the end of everything I'm in, when the waters get rough, keep on sailing. Take care.